Okay, dear students, few days back I have finished the first chapter, the basic concept in chemistry. Now today I am starting the new chapter, that is structure of atom. You know the structure of atom. Atom is made up of the basic structure. So in basic structure it includes three fundamental particles: electron, proton and neutron. Now before discussing the structure of atom, we should know how this electron, proton and neutron came into the picture. So the first thing we will discuss, that is the discovery of electron. Discovery of electron. So discovery of electron took place through the study of cathode ray. So that means study of cathode ray gives us the electron. Second thing, this study was very first made by Mr. Julius Placer in 1859. So cathode ray experiment was carried out very first by Julius Placer in 1859, and this experiment was carried out in a gas discharge tube. This experiment was carried out, cathode ray experiment was carried out with gas discharge tube, and it was carried by Julius Placer. So Julius Placer has given the idea about the cathode ray. Why he named it as cathode ray? Because the rays was emanating from cathode and moving towards the anode. That's why the rays which were coming from cathode, he named it as cathode ray. So discovery of cathode ray given by Mr. Julius Placer, and this cathode ray is made up of lot of negative particles. Those negative particles is named as electron, and this name is given, electron is given by Mr. J.J. Thomson. So credit for discovery of electron goes to Mr. J.J. Thomson, but the experiment was carried out by Julius Placer. On the basis of the experiment carried out over cathode ray by Mr. Placer, this cathode rays was studied deeply by Mr. J.J. Thomson, and J.J. Thomson named the particle with which this cathode ray is made up as electron. So discovery of electron goes to the Mr. J.J. Thomson, whereas the cathode ray experiment, the credit of cathode ray experiment goes to Mr. Julius Placer. So cathode ray was discovered by Mr. Julius Placer, whereas the electron is discovered by J.J. Thomson. So there should not be confusion between these two, that who had discovered cathode ray and who had discovered electron. Okay. Now I will move further. So in this experiment, what has been used? Gas discharge tube. So we must know what is this gas discharge tube. This gas discharge tube is nothing, it's a long glass tube. It's a long glass tube. It is this you can see here, this is a long glass tube. This is long glass tube. You can see this is the long glass tube. This is a hard glass tube. Both the end contains these metal plates, which is known as electrode. So this one is connected to the negative terminal, so it is named as cathode, and it is connected to the positive terminal, so it is named as anode. There is a vacuum pump installed in this, so that we can increase or decrease the amount of gas inside this glass tube to maintain the pressure what is required. We can decrease or increase the pressure by this vacuum pump. So vacuum pump has got the role to expel out the gas from this discharge tube, so that we can decrease the pressure inside this glass tube. Okay, and inside this glass tube some inert gases are filled. Some inert gases are filled at very low pressure, at very low pressure. And how to maintain the very low pressure? By this one, by evacuating pump, which can expel out the excess gas present inside it. And this is connected to the high voltage. High voltage means around 10,000 volts. High voltage means around 10,000 voltage. 10,000 volt of electricity is supplied to it. So this is the gas discharge tube. This is called gas discharge tube. So what are the things in this gas discharge tube? It's a long glass tube, and which is fitted with a metal electrode on either side, and across which high voltage is supplied. Across this electrode between the cathode and anode, high voltage is this, across this cathode and anode, which how high voltage is applied. So when high voltage is applied, then there will be something. Okay, it is already connected to the vacuum pump to decrease the gaseous pressure inside this tube. Now you will observe. Now you will observe. This is the experimental pictures. You can see how the arrangement have been made. Now inside this gas discharge tube, this is the gas discharge tube. If you maintain the pressure as 1 atmospheric pressure, if inside the gas discharge tube, if you maintain the gas pressure as 1 atmospheric pressure, I have already discussed this gas discharge tube. You can see it. In this gas discharge tube, if the pressure is 1 atmospheric pressure, that means what is 1 atmospheric pressure? Pressure equivalent to the atmospheric pressure only, whatever the pressure is in atmosphere at normal temperature, then no electric current flow through the tube. So there no electric current whatsoever, the potential difference, whatsoever the amount of electricity you try to pass through it, no electric current can flow through this discharge tube. But if you reduce the gaseous pressure inside the discharge tube around 10 to the power minus 2 atmospheric pressure, if you reduce the pressure around 10 to the power minus 2 atmospheric pressure inside the discharge tube, and if you supply the potential difference, if you supply the potential difference around 10,000 volts, around 10,000 volts, then you will observe electric current flow through the discharge tube. Then you will find electric current flows through the discharge tube. So in this condition, when current flow through this discharge tube, at the same time you will find that light is produced. Light is produced. Glow, that means entire discharge tube gets glow, starts glowing, because light is produced inside the discharge tube, or the light is emitted by the gas, whatsoever word you like you can write. And the color of the light which is produced inside the discharge tube, it all depends upon the gas. If you change the gas, then the color of the glow will change. That means the light which is produced inside the discharge tube, the color of the light depends upon the nature of the gas. If you have experiment with different gases, you will find different colors inside the discharge tube. So color of the light depends upon the nature of the gas in the tube. With hydrogen gas there will be another color, with chlorine it will give you another color, with helium it will give another color, with krypton it will give another color, with xenon. So all gases will produce different color inside. So color of the light depends upon the nature of the gas inside the tube. So this we have studied when the gaseous pressure is 10 to the power minus 2 atmospheric pressure. Now reduce still more gaseous pressure. Now reduce the gaseous pressure. Now if you reduce the gaseous pressure around 10 to the power minus 4 atm, If you reduce the gaseous pressure around 10 to the power minus 4 atmospheric pressure, and if you maintain the potential difference around 10,000 volts, if you maintain the potential difference around 10,000 volts, then you will feel there is no emission of light. There is no emission of light. That means emission of light will cease. Emission of light stops. There will be no production of light inside that discharge tube. Instead, in place of this, the tube itself start glowing. This gas discharge tube itself, body of the discharge tube, the body, the glass body, the body of this glass tube starts glowing, and the process of glowing a particular body is known as fluorescence. So that's why we say that emission of light stops or ceases by the gas. Instead, the tube's body starts glowing, glow fluorescence with a faint greenish light. So this glass tube starts with a faint greenish light. So what is this? Because you know that when a gas in the discharge tube, electricity is passed through it. It's a very high voltage. High voltage means it gives you extreme quantity of energy. So with this extreme quantity of energy, the gaseous particles get ionized, and after ionization it moves with a tremendous speed, because we are putting around 10,000 volts, and these fast moving particles inside the discharge tube get collides with the surface with a tremendous speed. The collision of anything with tremendous speed is known as bombardment. Collision of anything with tremendous speed is known as bombardment. So this fluorescence was caused due to the bombardment of the wall of the discharge tube. Okay, this bombardment is carried out by this charged particle which are moving inside the discharge tube, and this fluorescence emanates from the body. Okay, so reason behind the fluorescence we have studied. And what is this fluorescence? Fluorescence is the phenomenon in which if anything is irradiated with heat energy, excess quantity of heat energy or excess quantity of electrical energy, then it gets glow, and it will glow till we supply the heat energy or electrical energy. Once we stop the supplying of electrical energy or heat energy, it will not glow. So this is the process of fluorescence, and these rays which are emanating from the cathode are known as cathode rays, because it is coming out from the cathode and it is moving towards anode, ended at the anode. These rays are found to consist of negatively charged particles. These rays which are emanating from the cathode are found to be emanating from cathode. So name is given cathode ray, and it is also found that it is consisting of the negative charged particles, negative charged materials. These negative charged material particles are named as electron by Mr. J.J. Thomson. So that's why the discovery of electron goes to Mr. J.J. Thomson. Thank you. I'll discuss further in another lecture.